Hello, everybody. Meteorologist Hutch Johnson with an update for you. We have an active tornado warning and a line of thunderstorms heading through Jamestown towards Valley City right now. A quick update on where they're going and what's going on right now. Here we go. We're going to start with a quick look at the radar, and we're going north to south here. We have a line of storms that are approaching the northern Red River Valley and the tornado warning that does continue until 3 o'clock. So let's go up to the Langdon area. These storms here, non-severe right now, pushing off to the east. They're still gusty. There could be some small hail with these near Tacoma and Adams. Down a little bit farther to the south, we have a solid line of severe storm warnings from Macville through Lakota all the way through Valley City right now. Now, this is a solid line of severe thunderstorm warnings, but not everywhere is going to see the gustiest of the winds or the hail potential. So keep that in mind. Devil's Lake and Lakota, strong storms making their way in your general vicinity as well. Here we go down towards New Rockford, Warwick, and Tola. We're seeing a few of these storms that are continuing to be strong and gusty and working their way off to the east. And these storms, again, moving at an average clip of about 40 to 50 miles per hour. This one, 56 miles per hour. So they're really picking up some steam. And there is an active tornado warning continuing for the Glenfield, Kensal area right now. A tornado warning is in effect for the next few minutes until 3 o'clock with these storms. Now, as we take a look at this particular tornado warning for these areas, we'll go ahead and show you the velocities that we have with regards to these storms now. So give me one moment while I pull up the spin in the storm here and show you that, well, let's get a little bit closer. The storms are approaching the Mayville area, so let's switch over to the Mayville radar. And here we go. You can see this little shape right here, that little hook. There is some spin and shear in that as moving its way off to the east. And the rotating part of this storm moving right near the Glenfield area right now. So if you're in Glenfield, a tornado warning is in effect, and gusty straight line winds associated with that storm are going to be possible as well. Dangerous storms out there, folks. And again, we do see these storms pushing through Jamestown to the far eastern reaches of Stutsman County, as well as we're taking a look along the leading edge of the windy storms pushing into eastern Stutsman County and in towards western Barnes County near Rogers. A little bit of shear in those as well. Okay, so these storms definitely have a history of some big time winds with them, and here we go. Jamestown, very heavy thunderstorms working their way through towards Sanborn now, as well as Montpelier and Judd. And again, here you see this nice little nudge or a bow in this segment, so that some of the strongest winds pushing along and north of Jamestown and into the western reaches of Barnes County. Here's a look at a 69-mile-per-hour measured wind gust there. That was from the Jamestown airport out there as those storms are pushing up to the east. A new tornado warning now has just been issued for Cooperstown as well. For this area right here, that spin in the storm right over here. Binford, Cooperstown, and Hannaford, you are all under a tornado warning until 3:15. So for the next 17 minutes or so, this storm moving at 64 miles per hour. That is amazing. And 1 inch diameter hail possible from that as well. So you can see right here as I get my crayon out here, Glenfield right here, that is the area where we have the rotation. It's crossing into the Binford area right now, moving straight along Highway 200 off to the east at 64 miles per hour. Let me erase the crayon, put that crayon back in its box, and we'll give you an idea of the crack and the timing of that as it's working its way off to the east. So one moment here while we take a look at that. Okay, here we go. So that 64-mile-per-hour movement with this, you know what, this tornado warning does sneak up into the northern reaches here too. So uh 64 miles per hour. That's incredibly fast. Okay, so here we go. Binford, it was there now. Or will be in the next 2 minutes to 5 minutes. Hannaford 307. The tornado warned storms will be near you. Cooperstown 310 and at 3:23 Sharon and Finley will be under the influence of the tornado warned storm. Hope at 3:20 9. Now, this storm is moving very quickly. It's a short-lived tornado warning that is in effect until, as I mentioned, that 3 o'clock time frame. So keep that in mind. Let's see, where is that? There we go. Okay, so uh, again, a tornado warning has been issued. That is in effect until 3:15 for the next, about 20 minutes or so. It does include this little nudge that you see here, that little hook that you're seeing right there. That area has a concern for some rotation moving towards Binford. There's another area with tornado or a spin evident here right near the Glenfield area as it's moving off to the east as well. So just a flat out dangerous line of storms right there. So here is where these storms now you have a severe thunderstorm warning for Valley City. Again, moving at a huge clip, uh, a huge clip, 56 miles per hour toward Valley City. So let me time that out for you as well. So here we go. It's been a very long day and a long night, so just doing our best to keep you posted here. Storms moving closer to 50 miles per hour to 60 miles per hour. Sanborn, Litchfield seeing these storms by 3:07, and then Valley City 3:17. They're moving very quickly. Gusty wind is going to be the main threat, and this storm does have that history of a nearly 70 mile per hour gust as it worked its way right through the Jamestown area here moments ago. So dangerous storms making their way into the Valley City area. Now, as we take a quick peek for those of you uh, in the FM area here, including myself, we're looking at 70 miles, so an hour and a half. These are going to get here about 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning then, arriving a little bit early thanks to their speeding up as they're working their way off to the east. Now, we do have a severe thunderstorm warning on the south side here for Wishick and including the Edgeley area out here for these storms moving in the general direction of Dickey and Lamore County until 4 o'clock in the morning. 60-mile-per-hour winds expected there. And the warnings do continue down towards Bodle, Leola, and Eureka down in South Dakota. So a solid line of thunderstorms out there right now. Active tornado warning in effect for you folks out here south of Macville and in the Cooperstown area. And right here, where you see this thing really surging out, that is a serious gusty line of winds right there. With some extensive wind potential with that. Now that's looking right into the radar beam from the Mayville area. So we'll go ahead and take a look at the velocity signature with this. And here you can certainly see where some of these bright colors are. Now, let's take a look at what those bright colors indicate here. So, as we look out to the west near Glenfield, this is picking out outgoing wind away from the radar there of 53 miles per hour. Let's see, and then incoming wind at 52 miles per hour. And down here, what are we picking up down here? Okay, so there is moving in towards Hannaford here is another area where we have some very tight rotation showing up, and right up here we have some tight rotation. Let's go ahead and see if we're getting any other indication as far as maybe possible debris signatures go with this line of storms as it's making its way off to the east towards Cooperstown here. So let's go ahead and take a look at this. Boy, it's moving so fast. I think the signatures there are getting swallowed up. I'm not seeing any clear evidence of that. So just a very dangerous, gusty storm front making its way in. And along this leading edge, it's a pretty large area for a tornado warning. But there are a couple of different areas at least where we do have that velocity signature showing up where we're getting the spin in the storm out there. So dangerous storms heading in towards the Binford area now, Cooperstown shortly, Glenfield, it's over you right now with its rotation as well. Here's a look at the regular radar data. So this shows this little hook shape in the storm right here, just moving out of Glenfield, some hail moving in towards you at this time. The Hannaford area, this little bulge coming out here is an evidence that there's some very, very strong winds pushing out in that general direction at this time. So that's what we have going on. Jamestown, I'm not sure. Let's see, south of town, it looks like we got another wind measurement going on here. Let me see if I can pull that up for you and see what we got here. That wind measurement 69 miles per hour. That's from the Ypsilanti area out there. So a couple of measurements of 69-mile-per-hour winds, one in Jamestown, one in Ypsilanti, and then out to the east, excuse me, west, we did have one in Medina at 67. So pretty consistent, near 70-mile-per-hour gusts from this Boeing line segment moving into Valley City here in mere moments. Again, racing forward at a clip of about 55 to 60 miles per hour. So this is happening all very quickly now. If you're in the Valley City area, you should be seeking shelter. See the hacksaw looking shape to this? Little gusty areas coming out here, little gusty area coming out here, and a gusty area pooching out here. And where that gusty wind is coming in, there can be brief spin ups that are happening along those lines. So I would put it as not out of the question that we could see a possible tornado. And in fact, the National Weather Service language here says tornado possible in and around the Valley City area in Barnes County as these storms work their way through. Gusts to 70 miles per hour and isolated areas getting 1 inch hail. So these storms moving at that 50-mile-per-hour clip here is putting them, within about an hour, a little bit more, of being an hour and a half of being in and around the FM area. So that's what's going on here. Grand Forks, you do have the storms making their way in towards you as well. There is a Boeing segment up here near Langdon to Grafton, making its way up to the north. Let's take a look at some wind measurements that we got going on up there from our friends at the end on sites here. So let's do that. So we do have wind gusts now, and let's take a look at this. So now what we're looking at 55-mile-per-hour gusts right now as we look in on the well, that's Eddy and Foster counties right now, and northern parts of Stutsman County. So there are some gusts presently at over 50 miles per hour, and peak gusts measured by this right along and north of I-94, Stutsman County. You're looking at Kidder County here. We got 55 to 60-mile-per-hour gusts peak measured there by the instrumentation, the North Dakota Agricultural Weather Network. So again, dangerous line of storms pulsing its way through some of the strongest winds right now here in the central part of North Dakota, heading in the general direction of Valley City right now. We do have the active tornado warning taking place. Let's go ahead and get you back to the radar here. And on this update, if you are in the path of this line of storms here, very, very, very gusty straight line winds, 70-mile-per-hour gusts, and we do have that tornado warning and a tag that says tornado possible for you folks in the Valley City area. Not seeing quite as strong winds to the north of this real evident Boeing line segment working its way through Jamestown now. Just look at all the blue icons here. Each of those is a wind report from these storms, including all the way from Bismarck, where we had 65-mile-per-hour gusts or so, 55 miles per hour north of the Steel area, and upwards of 70 miles per hour working its way in through this general vicinity. So we're looking at Cooperstown. We're looking at Binford. I know we have a Binford camera out there. Let's go to that real quickly from the DOT in North Dakota. It's awful hard to see at night, and that's one thing we don't want you running to your window. We want you running to shelter. If you happen to be out anywhere at Lake Ashtabula now, this storm is going to be really rapidly pushing in toward that area at this particular time. So give me 1 minute here while I take a look at a couple of the cameras here. Let's go here. This is going to be the, well, that's a Glenfield storm view. Actually, this is a view from the DOT site there. Real dark. It's really going to be hard to see anything here. It might give us some evidence if we can get into the Binford area here and take a look at the winds. Here we go. There is the Binford area. There is a tornado warning, and there's a Boeing line segment moving into you right now. This camera is a DOT camera there in the Binford area. So again, very gusty straight line winds, upwards of 70 miles per hour being measured by these storms as they push into Binford, Cooperstown, and Hannaford. And here's that radar again. I'll show you the area that has Hutch concerned with regards to the spin. There's this little bite taken out of the storm right here. That's one area south of Binford. The Boeing segment moving through Binford now is evidence of a very, very strong gust of wind making its way in towards you. Cooperstown and points south towards Hannaford. This bulge that you're seeing here, that backwards C shape that you see my hand making here, that is evidence of some very gusty straight line winds there. Again, 70-mile-per-hour winds have been common, and you are in a tornado warning. Tornado warning Cooperstown, Hannaford, Binford, and Laverne. It's not one giant tornado that's happening in all these areas, but in isolated spots along this gust front here coming out from these storms, we're getting spin ups called QLCS tornadoes, and those are firing up. They can be very strong. They're usually pretty brief, but this line of storms moving off to the east at 60 miles per hour to 65 miles per hour. Radar indicated tornadoes along the leading edge of the storm, and I'm trying to do my best to pinpoint where those are. To me, right here, at this Highway 200 sign, right along Highway 200, there is a notch taken out of the storm right there. That would be a good place for where there could be some rotation. We'll turn on the velocity couplets right here so we can take a look at the spin inside. And indeed, that's where we're seeing reds and greens next to each other. North of Binford, there's another evident area of that. All along this northern fringe, just north of Binford, this wind is coming towards Mayville, and on this north side, just north of here, we could have that QLCS type of a spin up taking place. Same things going on right into Cooperstown along Highway 200 right now with this particular area. Hannaford, very, very gusty winds here with the radar picking up. Let's see what these velocities are looking like here. They're looking very strong. Let's see, what was that? 42. Okay, so we're picking up velocities inside the storm at cloud level here of 60 mile per hour in places. So not everybody is going to see the gustiest of the winds, but indeed, right here near Hannaford, there is some pretty tight rotation taking place just north of town by about 4 miles. So keep that in mind. Very gusty straight line winds for many. Isolated places could be getting an embedded tornado. If you happen to be in the Valley City area and Lake Ashtabula, you can see the Cheyenne River Valley right here. That Boeing segment between Rogers and Sanborn is pushing into you right now. So this wind will be coming at you from the west. You'll want to stay away from that side of the building, and hopefully you have a sturdy structure to be in as these storms push their way through. Looking in on the Valley City area here, as we look into your portion of Barnes County, we're not seeing the same types of velocity signatures that we were down to the south, and that's a good thing as far as tornadoes go. But the National Weather Service does have on this warning that a tornado is possible along the leading edge of the storm. I'll keep my eyes on this very closely, and I'll highlight the areas as we move forward here with this, where we might be seeing some of that shear. But anybody along the leading edge of these storms here, including you folks in Valley City, Rogers, Daisy, pushing in towards Laverne now, Cooperstown and Hannaford and Binford in particular, under the tornado warning that is in effect. So please be seeking shelter in a sturdy structure. I know it's in the middle of the night, and not everybody's going to get a tornado in this area, but you should all be in your tornado safe areas right now. The warning lasts for another 7 minutes is all. And again, that's because this system is moving so very, very quickly at 65 miles per hour. That's leading edge right here, blasting in toward that area. So that's what's going on right now. Dangerous storms continue their march off to the east. A lot of you may have some questions. I will not answer too many of them right now, but other than the fact that we do have, let me see here, I think my screen is all over the place, so I'll try to recenter that. There we go. Um, so at any rate, let's go ahead and take one more look at what's going on the northern fringe of these storms. Things not necessarily quieting down, but they are Well, there's a backward C shape pushing in through. You folks in Cavalier and Pembina counties can expect the gusty winds, Walhalla, but not as strong, although that looks like a pretty good signature there, this backward C shape of some gusty straight line winds. We did look at instruments measuring the winds, and we're getting 30 to 40-mile-per-hour gusts up here measured by instruments. But down here, pretty solid measurements, as you see here, of 65 to 70 mile per hour gusts and embedded tornadoes embedded into the gusty winds that are surging their way through. Keep that in mind. We also have some very heavy rain making its way through, so there'll be some areas hit by some terribly heavy rain as well. Let's see if I can pull that up for us here real quick. There we go. Okay, so what you're going to be looking at now is storm total precipitation estimates, and these are pretty ridiculous. We're looking at many areas over an inch, some areas in these blue pockets that you see here along the international border, 3 inches. Remember, wave after wave of storms passing through some of these areas. There were earlier severe thunderstorm warnings up in and around northern parts of Towner County out towards Belcourt as well. Estimates of 4 inches of rain along the international border there, but many areas with 1 to 2.5 inches of rain outside of Minot, and that's the wettest part of the storm as it works its way through Jamestown. It's still working its way through your area, the Bismarck area, about 4 to 5 tenths of an inch of rain estimated by the Doppler radar. So once again, severe thunderstorms are rumbling their way through, and a solid line of severe thunderstorm warnings from Grand Forks County straight down in towards Brown County, South Dakota, and Aberdeen for gusty winds. The strongest core right here, where you see this huge backward C-shaped bulge, this line producing 70-mile-per-hour gusts, and it is making its way in the general direction of Fargo. For now, I'm meteorologist Hutch Johnson. Again, tornado warning is in effect for the next couple of minutes here for you folks for 4 minutes in Cooperstown and Binford. There's still some evidence of rotation. We got a brand new tornado warning right now for you folks in Mackville. Mackville, a tornado warning has been issued for you now along the leading edge of the storm. Let's go ahead and take you in now. This is Tolna. You are also in the tornado warning, and Binford, you're in two tornado warnings. Seems odd to say, but the one on the south side does cancel soon, and then the next tornado warning is for this area. So let me get to the single site radar data that gives me a little bit more detail with regards to where we might be seeing that rotation. Right there, um, up near Tolna, you see that little notch? That is evidence of where we could be seeing a tornado. So Tolna, there is this chance of a tornado crossing right over the Highway 1 corridor right now. And then all the way down south, you see this big bulge right here. Anywhere in and along here where this surge of wind is pushing this storm through Binford at a rapid clip of 65 miles per hour. That pulling is causing the concern for a possible tornado here as well. So this is a very uh, quite large area for a tornado warning, but that is because anywhere along this line, particularly near and north of Tolna and here north of Binford, a couple of areas. This is moving in towards Mackville. If you're in Mackville, you need to be seeking your tornado shelter. Here is a look at what the Weather Service is saying until 3:30 for the next 18 minutes. A tornado warning is in effect. It's moving east at 44 miles per hour. And I'll go ahead and time this out for you again. 44 mile per hour, almost due east motion with this. Let's see. All right, here we go. Put this at 45 miles per hour. Mackville, it will be there in 7 minutes. You have 7 minutes. Make sure you're seeking shelter in that interior room on the lowest floor possible. Put as many walls between you and the storm as possible. Also, the winds will be gusting from west to east. So stay away from any walls or outside walls, particularly if you have trees on the west side of your house. Stay away from those outside walls on the west side of the house. Get to the interior rooms on the lowest floor. A basement is best. from this particular storm. Aneta out there towards 3:30. The storm will be near you. Northwood, it is heading in your general direction, 3:55. You are not in the tornado warning in Northwood. We'll continue to see things evolving with this jagged, sawtooth looking leading edge of these storms working their way off to the east. So that's what's going on there. Let's go ahead and sneak down south. Cooperstown, you are right in the midst of where we have another notch in this storm. Your tornado warning expires in 1 minute. It would not be surprising to me if that continues. And look at it racing into Laverne down here as well. We're seeing another little surge here right near the Valley City area. We've got this surge pushing its way through, so we could have a possible tornado here. And in fact, the National Weather Service is saying that a tornado is possible. This surge here would be a gust surge towards the Oriska area. Down here, that little bite taken out of the storm, that could be evidence there of a possible spin up. There's a couple of them. You see these sawtooths that are taking place as gusts fly out of these storms uh, from them. Now, the hail threat seems to be diminishing just a little bit from these cells. We could have up to 3/4 of an inch in diameter hail, maybe up to an inch. The tornado warning for you folks down here south of Binford has expired for the time being. We still see some evidence in and around the Cooperstown of this very jagged looking shape here. And if we take a look at the spin and shear in the storm, there is some taking place in and around Cooperstown right now. So again, it's a good idea to just remain in your safe place in these areas. Now, looking down towards Valley City, we have the jagged lines, but we're not seeing that greens and reds immediately next to each other like we're seeing up to the north. There's a little bit right here, but that is more what we would call a signature that would be a roll. Till we get right into here, there might be a little area of some tight shear taking place there. This thing evolves very quickly. A lot of these little spin ups do. They usually are not long lived, but they certainly can be quite strong. A 57-mile-per-hour gust measured here moments ago at 3 a.m. That was at Marion out there and south of Jamestown, Ypsilanti, 69-mile-per-hour gust now, and a 69-mile-per-hour gust taking place in and around Jamestown. All right, these storms continue to push their way through into Nelson County. For you folks in Macville, you should be in your tornado safe place. Pekin and places north, there's some evidence of very tight rotation in and around your neck of the woods, and here as well to the south of Macville is an area of concern. So I'll go ahead and circle these for you. This area right here, rural portion south of Macville, there's an area. We've got wind blowing away from the radar in Macville and air blowing towards it there. Beacon evidence right here of a possible uh, type tornado in the tornado warned area. So those are the two areas. But anyone in this area should be seeking shelter, and the NETA can have you also will need to be doing the same thing. Seek shelter in that interior room, staying away from windows. Let me clear out my Crayolas here and put the crayon away, hopefully. All right, so that is what we have going on right now. We've got a new thunderstorm warning for you folks in Mayville. That also includes you folks out there in Cooperstown and Hope for 1 inch potential hail size and 80 mile-per-hour wind gusts from this terrible windy line of storms that is pushing its way off to the east. I want to be clear, not every single location along this huge warned area is going to get the 80 mile-per-hour gusts. But because the nature of this storm is changing and evolving so quickly, the National Weather Service puts out very large warned areas here because in 1 minute we're getting an 80 mile-per-hour gust indication or 70 mile-per-hour gust indication, and then it goes away and it moves up to the north. So it's a long line of severe thunderstorm warned counties and areas from Lakota through Larimore, Northwood, Mayville, Cooperstown. We do have that tornado warning in pink, by the way, for you folks, at least for the next 12 minutes. Pardon me. Pardon me. And then as we go down to the south, here near Tower City and Valley City, we have a thunderstorm warning with the tag that says tornado possible on this huge thunderstorm warning, huge thunderstorm warning until 3:45. that extends through Valley City for 70-mile-per-hour winds. So I know this gets a lot confusing because you look at a certain town like Cooperstown, and Cooperstown's in one big polygon for a thunderstorm warning. You're in a second polygon for thunderstorm warning. You're in a very close to the tornado warning there. So some of these counties, literally right now, to try to make sense of what's confusing even to meteorologists sometimes, and that's the fact that we've got this one big polygon here. That's one thunderstorm warning. Here's another thunderstorm warning in this yellow polygon, and then a tornado warning here for the Macville area as well. It does get confusing with this big of an area. The difference with this particular thunderstorm warning for the Mayville area is that the wind gust is pushed up to 80, where we're seeing this bulge coming in through the storm right here. 80 mile-per-hour wind gusts will be possible from the storms there. So let's go back to the radar data here, the normal radar data. Let's see if I can take a look at some of the modeled data that's showing me some okay, so we've been watching throughout the evening hours some of the parameters that we have in place for these storms, but quite frankly, we have a solid line of thunderstorms from the Canadian border. On the backside, it's still very windy and extremely heavy rain taking place as we look out for you folks in Towner County. It's still raining with estimates in the northern part of the county of over 4 inches of rain. So in northern Towner County, there uh, deluge of rain going on throughout the evening hours tonight, and for hours it's been raining. There's probably some flooding concerns up there in Towner County, particularly the northern part of the county. And then as we look down to the south here, solid lines towards Ellendale for you folks in Cullum and Edgeley. Windy thunderstorms here. We did get a wind measurement here recently at 3 a.m. of a 57-mile-per-hour gust. That was in Marion, or 3 miles south of Marion, just north of Lemoore. So the magnitude of the wind gusts here on the southern flank of these storms a little bit lower, but still severe, near 60 miles per hour, and that can start toppling trees. So for now, storms pushing in and through Valley City, a tornado warning for Macville area and surround. These storms here pushing in towards through Pekin, through Macville right now, with the rotating part of the storm here that would be evident right here where we got that little bite or not taken out of the storm. And this is an extremely windy nugget of the storm right here where we got this backward C shape pushing in towards Sharon right now. So if you're in Sharon, gusty winds making their way in towards you. I'm meteorologist Hutch Johnson. I'm going to grab a drink of water. Dangerous storms working their way into the eastern third of North Dakota. I'll be back with more coverage. You're watching Hutch's Weather. Thank you for your trust, and I'll be